So with the imminent launch of the 2022 GTI and Golf R, there are a lot of changes. And one of these changes is the rear differential that's in the Golf R. So now, instead of the normal traditional Hall deck system that is pulled from the other all-wheel drive models, there's a torque vectoring rear differential. Internally, this is called the rear axle torque splitter 02E, and all the information that I'll be giving you in this video is from an internal Volkswagen self-study guide for dealers that kind of describes the function and form of this rear differential. So this differential is also used in the Arteon and Tiguan R in Europe. Only in the America, it will be in the Golf R. Because these cars have already launched in Canada and are coming to America soon, I thought it'd be cool to kind of break down the internal structure of the differential and kind of talk about how it works and some of the maintenance intervals, and just kind of break down the differential, because for those outside, they've heard about the new differential, but you haven't really gotten a lot of information on, the function of it. So this video will serve to show you that kind of internal breakdown of the differential. In the previous version of the Golf R and all of the other 4Motion models offered by Volkswagen, there's an all-wheel drive coupling final drive system. And this is different from the R Performance torque vectoring system that's going to be in the new Golf R. And as you can see on this diagram from the self-study guide, the two different types of all-wheel drive systems are demonstrated. Obviously, one of them has the ability to put 50% of the power to each of the wheels, and the R Performance torque vectoring system has the ability to put 100% of the power sent from the drive shaft, or the torque sent from the rear drive shaft, to one individual wheel on the rear end of the vehicle. So kind of breaking down the torque splitter itself, it consists of a final drive and two multi-plate clutches on the outside, one on the left and one on the right. The torque comes through the drive shaft into the final drive and is then distributed to the two clutches on the outside of the differential itself. So it's not a super complicated or different process. We've seen clutches in the rear differential before, not on the outside, but really to modulate the power that's coming from the drive shaft. But now this system allows the final drive to connect to those clutches that go to the outside, to the wheels, and it kind of enables this whole nother layer of drivability with the car when you can have torque go to individual wheels versus only 50% being able to go to each of the wheels and not really be split up between the two wheels, but just all the power from that differential go to the two wheels on the outside. So like the Mark 7 that had the 4Motion system, the previous generation 4Motion system, this differential also has a maintenance interval. So what's interesting is there's actually three different channels, I'll call them, of oil in the differential. So each of the clutch areas has its own bath of oil, and then the final drive has its own oil. So as prescribed by the self-study guide, only the clutch areas have a true set maintenance interval, but the final drive does have an oil fill and drain area, as do the clutches, obviously, because they are recommended for service. So there's not an interval recommended inside the self-study guide yet, but I'm guessing that as time goes on, there will be an interval. I'm going to guess it's going to be somewhere near 30,000, but don't quote me on that. That's around where the Haldex was, to have these clutch areas serviced. And even though there's not a maintenance interval for the final drive, there is an oil drain and fill plug, so you can kind of do that at your leisure, and you are allowed to at least change the oil within it. So I hope this kind of helps demystify and kind of clarify some of the functions of this new differential and how it works, and the maintenance intervals. I know people are very antsy in North America to get their hands on this car. People are seeing pictures of them in Canada because the dealer network's a little bit smaller, and it allowed them to get their cars a little bit quicker. But they are coming. There are Rs in ports around America, and I'm guessing by the end of the year, early 2022, the dealer network will be able to start getting these new cars. And I'm part of the dealer network, and I'm very excited to see these cars and share them with customers. So obviously, we'll be sharing updates as time goes on when the car will come, but they're coming soon, and I think that everyone's going to be just as wowed as everyone else is in Europe about these new cars. The Golf R is going to be very capable. I personally like all the updates on it. I really have no problem with the infotainment compared to many of the journalists and other people who have been very critical of it, but time will tell and things will be updated. But the cars are coming soon, and you'll be able to experience this new differential when it comes out in the new 22 Golf R.